For me, the death of one person is one too many. Galvanize the world to focus on the atrocities that were happening. South Africa would not have achieved its independence in 1990. And I'm sure my father and his colleagues would have been sentenced to death in the Rivonia trial. Truthful, ethical journalism is the road to peace in our society and around the globe. Without that, we have lost the battle. And there are many of those brave souls, both men and women. I've been surprised at how brave women have been in this cause. But as I said, education starts at home.
Inclusive había el riesgo permanente con la incertidumbre de la muerte para él.
My uncles fit in the shoes of my father. They were not educated. They were not even rich. But they took care of us like we were their own children. We need to look at our traditions and customs and be proud of them. Yes, culture is never static. It changes as the world changes. But if you don't embrace our culture, we forget who we are as a people.
Makaziwe Mandela, bienvenida a México. Welcome to Mexico. ¿Cómo se siente?
I feel very good. I think the energy in this conference has boosted my tired energy, and it has been a wonderful experience for me to be part of this. And I think it gives me hope for the future because it means we are not daunted by the fear around us, that we feel there's a brighter future ahead of us, and I'm grateful to be here.
Es su primera ocasión que viene a México.
Yes.
¿Qué le ha parecido?
Yeah.
How do you think about Mexico?
I've seen very little of Lyon, but the little that I've seen is very, very impressive. Yeah. I was commenting that Lyon is a very, very clean city. And it shows the pride that people have in their own city. And that's encouraging.
Gracias. En su discurso hablaba del poder de la paz. Y cuando vemos realidades tan distintas, Sudáfrica y Latinoamérica, escuchábamos de su discurso denominadores comunes de la lucha frontal que ha cobrado vidas humanas por lograr la paz. ¿Qué opina al respecto?
For me, the death of one person is one too many. But I want to emphasize to people who are listening, if journalists of different colors did not stand up, write about the apartheid atrocities, work with other journalists who were outside of South Africa, galvanize the world to focus on the atrocities that were happening, South Africa would not have achieved its independence in 1990. And I'm sure my father and his colleagues would have been sentenced to death in the Rivonia trial. So for me, truthful, ethical journalism is the road to peace in our society and around the globe. Without that, we have lost the battle.
Lo entendemos bien. ¿Qué opina de la fórmula de voces de liderazgos globales con el periodismo? Porque hablaba de que el periodismo tiene que ver con la democracia directamente.
No, I'm not, because I was addressing here a group of journalists who are fighting for peace. My emphasis is on that. But all of us who desire to live in a peaceful world, a dignified life, a secure of life, need to join with journalists. I'll give you an example. A good friend of mine in South Africa owns the Independent News. And because his staff are the voice of truth, they always get threats. He has been threatened himself with his children, but I've always encouraged him to fight the good fight. His bank accounts have been frozen, trying to kill his business, but he has continued. And so through WhatsApp, through other networks, he's able to communicate with a lot of people, with his journalists, but people outside. I send them messages all the time of encouragement to say, good work, we are with you, we support you. So this fight is not just for journalists, it's civil society, it's people around the world who are interested to change the world, the lived experience that we are living in right now. And there are many of those brave souls, both men and women. I've been surprised at how brave women have been in this cause.
Usted habla de la democracia, usted habla de la importancia de la educación, pero ¿qué tan importante es con la educación trabajar en la dignidad humana?
I think even in school, different voices must be heard. That's how you cultivate children with a sense of curiosity, children who are bold enough to question, children who are bold enough to criticize what's happening around them. But as I said, education starts at home. It starts at home with the discussions we have with our children, with what we allow our children to watch on TV. And so by the time they reach school, they already know who they are, who their identity is. They are already young bundles of cognitive thinking who know how to speak truth to power.
Okay. Usted, hablando de educación, usted de niña platicaba su vida familiar, que dejó de ver a su padre a los 6 años y lo volvió a ver a los 16 años de edad porque estuvo encarcelado, pero él nunca desistió de su lucha. Entonces, ¿cuál sería el mensaje respecto al poder de esas luchas que pueden ser transformadoras? Inclusive había el riesgo permanente con la incertidumbre de la muerte para él.
Look, I was fortunate enough that although my father was not there, in the African culture, you have uncles, you have aunts. So my uncles fit in the shoes of my father. They were not educated. They were not even rich. But they took care of us like we were their own children. And for me, the issue of a sense of community is very, very important in a society. We seem, because we are taking the Western world, the pop culture, to have forgotten that a sense of community, of family, is the cement of society. And if we teach our children those values and tradition, and I know, because I've read quite a bit about Mexico and its ancient culture, that it values other people, and that the sense of community was something that you got from your family. We need to bring back those values. We need to look at our traditions and customs and be proud of them. Yes, culture is never static. It changes as the world changes. But if you don't embrace our culture, we forget who we are as a people.
¿Cómo opera la fundación de la Casa Nelson Mandela y cuál es la columna vertebral en lo que ustedes hacen?
Well, House of Mandela was formed in 2008. And mainly we formed House of Mandela because my daughter and I wanted to change the paradigm about Africa. That it is a dark continent and that we are consumers of the minerals or the products that are made by our minerals. And we wanted to say Africa is not just a dark continent that consumes products made from its own minerals, that we in Africa can take what is given birth by the soil of Africa and turn it into precious goods. So we went into jewelry making. Like this necklace I'm wearing right now is something that we made out of House of Mandela. But we also set ourselves a goal that everything that we made commercially, a certain percentage of the profits will go into helping the poor people, especially women in rural areas where we actually come from. And so that's one of our goals. But the other goal that we want to do is we want to create a garden of remembrance for my father, so that the principles, the values that he espoused live for infinity.
Makaziwe Mandela, nice to meet you. Es un placer. Thank you very much. ¿Algo más que desagregar?
No, I just want to emphasize the issue of working together. I know you have worked very hard. This is the second year of running this conference, and you have journalists, you have government officials, you have people in the community, you have students from university. And I want to say, keep up the good work, because it is through these efforts of bringing people together, of having dialogue, of sharing experiences and sharing different viewpoints, that we grow as humanity and we can strike a blow to violence and conflict and the drug cartels and to corruption.
Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.